Africans on the continent, they have a dog in this fight, right? The vast majority of Africa still remains very Zionist, very pro-Israel. But even beyond the the biblical stance, even beyond the spiritual connection, there is a very practical there are very practical things on the ground that bind the Israeli and the African people. So these men have friends who were working in a kibbutz, on a kibbutz called Kibbutz Zakim, which is near Gaza. Okay. And they have people that they know, Malawian people that they know, who were also affected by the atrocities that happened on October 7th. Just like a few weeks ago, we talked about Felix Matenga and Joshua Molau, the two Tanzanian students who were studying agriculture in Israel, who were not only taken by Hamas, but brutally murdered. Hamas filmed themselves brutally murdering Joshua Molau. They didn't just kill him, but they taunted him, they jeered at him, they made fun of him, they said all kinds of just horrible things, horrible racist things to him, and then they shot him in the head at point blank several times while he was on the ground, right? And we talked about this. We talked about, unfortunately, in this culture of that Hamas, whether it's Al-Shabaab, whether it's Hezbollah, unfortunately, the radical extremism, the Islamism that we see is very racist toward Black Africans specifically. Hatred of Jews, hatred of Africans, and hatred of anyone who doesn't follow in their footsteps. But there was such a pointed thing in how they killed Joshua Molau. So again, Africans, it's not just this affinity that has to do with our deep connection to the scriptures. It is also a very practical thing. They have a dog in this fight as well. So I want to share with you this beautiful music video by these Malawian gentlemen who wrote this song. I want you guys to enjoy it. If you have it, Murray, go ahead and pull it up now. I want you to understand, people, as you see these things, these are not anomalies when it comes to the African people on the continent, whether it's in Malawi, whether it's in Nigeria, you will find that on the ground, and this isn't just conjecture. Even for us as IPSI, in the work that we do, and even in the work that we do outside of IPSI, we see it every day. It's commonplace for an African to love Israel, to understand Jewish indigeneity, to understand the fulfillment of Scripture, to and to rejoice at that. And like I said, very practically on the ground to understand that our enemies are your enemies. We shared an article a few weeks ago that was written by a man named Simon Dang and a good friend of our partner of ours, Charles Jacobs. And it's in Tablet Magazine. And he talks about how, unfortunately, in places like Nigeria and Sudan and Mauritania, October 7th happens every week. And one of the things that unfortunately binds the African and the Israeli people together is that the world doesn't really seem to care, right? Unless it's trending. You heard about Bring Back Our Girls, and those girls were never brought back. But you see how the world just kind of moved on, right? And so those same people who are committing those atrocities on a daily basis across the continent, that's the same mindset of Hamas that committed October 7th to hundreds and hundreds of Israelis and other foreign nationals.